It's NBA action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams for what should be a terrific matchup here tonight. We're at Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Tonight, it'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves getting set to match up with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The opening tip won by the Timberwolves as we get rolling from Target Center. Goes to the left side, driving right to the basket. Lets it fly from beyond the arc, buries it on the catch and shoot.
Just does everything so well, an all-around, very good player. Offensively can knock down that shot, but better known for being a 3-and-D type wing who's a lockdown defender.
To Westbrook. Here comes the screen. Westbrook. Ferguson to Paul George. And 2 points to the board.
That was a tough shot. The guy was in your pocket. He even contested the shot. Everything was going according to plan until then.
Russ at the controls. To George. Steven Adams with the slam.
I don't think I could do that on a 5-foot rim.
I can, because that's my only choice. Jones with it. Down a point. Defense making the ball carrier work. To Towns. For three. Drills the three.
Not everybody possesses this power, but wow, what court awareness.
Westbrook into the front court. They trail by 2. Here comes the screen. George, defended by Towns. Strong finish for Paul George.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's Prob City.
Steven Adams pins it. And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Thunder. Oh, good defense there. Thunder with the steal.
Pick up that sense of urgency. Here's a chance to break the tie.
To Paul George. Slams it down.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next-level elite PG. No doubt about it. This year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
To Towns. Deep left corner. Scores from the post.
Old school equals high percentage.
Westbrook into the front court. They can go 2 for 1 if they hurry. Nothing going here on that drive. George to Westbrook. Not a good pass there. T-Wolves have it. Not that time. Just inside the arc. At the buzzer. Unbothered by the defense as he drills it. Long heave from 3/4 court. After one, it's the visiting Thunder with the early lead. Jay and I back with more after this. You're watching the NBA on EA Sports. Second quarter set to start. Neither team set the tone to start this one. Jay, do you expect that to change?
I I know you're wondering why I'm clapping. Both teams came out in the first quarter, and they executed. When do you ever see that, Ed? You have to continue to bring those competitive juices into the second quarter, and we're going to have one heck of a ball game.
Now ready with a couple of free throws.
I don't know about that one, Ed. I always thought your hand was part of the ball.
Russell Westbrook, a couple of free throws on the way. A career 81% free throw shooter. Knocks down the first. Can't connect on the second, and he splits the pair. Jones with it. They're down 3. Trying to cash in, knocks it down from mid-range.
There you go. I like seeing scoring coming from unlikely sources.
Russ at the controls. To George. Here comes the screen. Westbrook. Now pass stolen by the Timberwolves. 4-3. Buries the trifecta.
The post-shot confidence is everything. He's still running down the court, holding his extension.
Westbrook across the timeline. Down just a couple. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
Russell Westbrook at the line for a chance at a 3-point play, shooting 50%, some yes, some no, in this contest. Got it. Minnesota at the controls. Here comes the screen. Nice pass to set things up. And Towns with the flush. The smooth, fluid game from Karl Anthony Towns.
If you didn't dunk that, then we would have to talk about it.
Russell Westbrook matched up with the former Wildcat. To Wiggins. Yes, Andrew Wiggins. He's finally on the board. Makes his first shot.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
Westbrook with the basketball. Down 3. Ferguson to Westbrook. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket. The inner beast of Westbrook. Sheer determination.
I don't think anybody got the license plate or not hit and run. And there is no one, I repeat, no one in the game of basketball with the first step in the explosion of Russell Westbrook.
Paul George. Not a good pass there. T-Wolves have it.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
Knocked loose. Picked up by the Thunder. Adams. Off the mark. Jones with it. It's a 1-point game as we approach halftime.
Hey, double screen.
To Towns. Leaving no doubt. Slams it down.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Nice pass to set things up.
The assist from number 20,
He'll let one fly from half court. First half in the books. It's the Timberwolves in front.
Thanks, Ed. Let's get right into the action here. The Timberwolves have a comfortable lead at the halfway mark. Clearly, the number of three-pointers these guys scored in the first half was incredible. And if they can keep that up, it's going to be tough to keep that team down. These are the guys getting buckets for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Thunder were in need of a bit more scoring if they wanted the halftime lead. They don't have a single player that can claim double figures in scoring. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Game track. Assists.
The Oklahoma City Thunder struggled to play the angles and allowed too many passing lanes to exist. However, some credit has to go to their opponents for the way they move the ball. They've been taking advantage of this situation.
Player of the half.
The film speaks for itself. He's definitely the player of the half. Now he just got to give an encore to get his team to win. Here we go with the top plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
And that concludes our halftime report. Thanks for joining us, and see you again after the game. It's me, I got it.
George to Adams. Karl Anthony Towns with a piece.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
Big kick right there.
To Wiggins. They get it down for Towns. Now ready for a couple of free throws.
No, no, no. I'll tell you, the team that makes the little mistakes, like committing unnecessary reach-in fouls like that, will be the team that ends up with the L.
And hits the first free throw. And he makes them both. Here's Westbrook controlling the offense. Takes stock of the floor. Russell Westbrook guarded by Towns. Ferguson to Paul George. Another chance. Oh, Russell Westbrook. He's now 4 for 6.
Sometimes when the players find that flow, nobody else needs to touch the ball. He's in the zone by himself.
And count the basket inside.
That's lunch pail business right there. Don't worry about the no call. Keep powering through.
Westbrook with it. The margin standing now at 7. George has it against the former #1 pick. Here comes the screen. Russell Westbrook steps into it. Wide open look, won't go.
Oh, I like that. You got the defense rotating from side to side. They're even recovering late, but still you got to make that one.
To Towns. Can't miss those. Ferguson to Westbrook. Russell Westbrook rocking the rim. Neither side is giving up an inch.
I guarantee you tomorrow on Complex's social feed, that play will have millions of views. And I'm really looking forward to this fourth quarter because the first three have lived up to the billing.
I told you the screen was coming.
To Wiggins. Won't go. Ferguson to George. And a putback slam. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first three quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
Ah, you've got to get that one to go.
Defense. Defense.
It's Westbrook. Deep, slams it home on the putback. Late heave to beat the buzzer. 3 quarters down, the Timberwolves have the lead. The Wolves with the basketballs. We start the fourth quarter, and they'll be looking to finish strong.
And when you play stingy defense on one end, the other end takes care of itself.
Jones with it. His team up by 1. Karl Anthony Towns, 4 out of 7.
You've heard it before. Slow and steady wins the race. This approach might be working out after all.
Russell Westbrook against Karl Anthony Towns. Has a chance. Not done yet. Karl Anthony Towns swats it.
You know, sometimes basketball can become a very beautiful thing to watch. During the regular season, things can get difficult. Energy can be low. The passion at times can even be lower because players are tired. They're fatigued. But today,
Stuffs it down with authority. You can try and body him up, but he'll still run right through you.
it's the way he attacks that makes him so dangerous. He chips off a piece of your body one possession at a time. First it's your arm, then it's your leg, and then inevitably it's your soul.
Now pass taken away by the Thunder.
From a guy who's been there before, tomorrow morning you'll wake up and you would have wished this was a bad dream. But in reality, all you can do is knock the cobwebs off and let it fuel you for tomorrow.
To Paul George. OKC now with 4 to shoot. George. Not easy. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively and he makes those clutch shots, it re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Ferguson, defended by Jones. Paul George, he's now shooting 5 for 7.
And there's nothing more mentally intimidating for your opponent than when your own teammates are unselfish and make sure that you get the ball because they want you to drop 70 on them, maybe like Devin Booker did last year.
Here comes the screen.
Uh-oh, you know you can't go off me out here.
To Wiggins. Has a look. Not that time.
See, I don't like that shot right there. Pass the ball, get the defense moving, maybe set a hard screen, roll to the rim, see the ball go in a couple of times before you settle for a mid-range jumper that's contested.
Now a timeout here for the Timberwolves. But this game's in the balance, and time is of the essence. Towns. To Wiggins. The Wolves down to 4 in the shot clock. Lets it fly from long range. That won't go. Here comes the intentional foul, but they did have one to give, so no free throws yet. They'll shoot after the next foul.
Ed, what's that old saying? Ruffled feathers do not flock together? Well, actually, I just made that up. But what it means is that play will cause a little havoc. As designed, the team that uses it to galvanize as a unit will have the advantage.
And he connects on the first free throw. And gets both to drop at the line. T-Wolves at the controls going up the floor. Jones guarded by Russell Westbrook. Towns, message received, well defended.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Good victory here for the Thunder as they get a good win on the road. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Here we go with the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Thunder got themselves a win here today. What really stood out for me is how many times they scored on second-effort plays. It takes heart to keep up that kind of execution, and these guys were relentless. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Timberwolves couldn't put it together to get the victory here today. And even though some of them smiled and shook hands with the other guys after the game, you could tell by the way they headed to the tunnels how disappointed they were about this loss. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Game track. Rebounds.
The Minnesota Timberwolves struggled for position throughout the whole game when shots went up and gave up too many rebounds.
Player of the game.
Paul George seemed to think he could only score points with dunks in this game. Again and again, he kept throwing them down, and it was just astonishing. These are the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
That does it for us. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night.